All right, Appalachian State, North Carolina here. North Kakalaki, 18-point home favorites, 58 the total in this game. I had to upgrade North Carolina after last week. I was extremely impressed. Very, very impressed with North Carolina. And look, I know the offense, nobody's surprised. I mean, we knew they were going to be a really good offensive team with Drake May leading them at quarterback. What I was impressed with was the defense, man. I saw stopping the run. I saw blowing up the line of scrimmage over and over again in the win against South Carolina. And maybe that speaks volumes about South Carolina's offensive line, too.
That line.
It's not good at all.
That was awful.
Yeah. North Carolina is definitely, to me, I've still got to upgrade their defense after what I saw. It was much better than anything we saw out of North Carolina's defense last year. And it doesn't take a lot to be better than anything we saw out of North Carolina's defense last year, but I definitely have to give them credit. That was a much better defensive effort in that commanding victory over South Carolina last week. On the flip side here, we've got Appalachian State, who, of course, if you look at it here, you've got the guy that was expected, to be their starting quarterback this year, Ryan Berger. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. Hand injury suffered for App State at the quarterback position last week. So keep that in mind, which means we're probably going to end up seeing Joey Aguilar as the starting quarterback here for App State in this game against North Carolina. We'll see how he fares here, but you talk about someone that last week, albeit he entered the game, he played pretty well for App State. Let's give Aguilar credit, 11 of 13, only 2 incomplete passes, 84% completions, 174 pass yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I got to say, that's pretty good numbers, entering that game for an injured quarterback. But you also have to factor in now what happened last week in terms of the opponent. It was Gardner-Webb. And you're going to be facing someone a lot tougher here in this game, taking on North Carolina, what looks like an improved defense. So we'll see. I know they're betting the hell out of North Carolina, and I get it. They looked extremely impressive last week. You are still talking about, 2 teams where it's a rivalry situation. We're talking about a 63-61 game between these 2 teams last year, where North Carolina escaped with the victory, where they gave up 649 total yards of offense to App State, and then 34-31 App State when these 2 teams played each other in 2019. So the 2 head-to-head meetings with these schools in the last 4 years were very competitive, down-to-the-wire games. For as much as North Carolina impressed me last week, and for as much as I've upgraded them after that performance, especially on the defensive side of the football, in this series, I'm not ready to lay 18, and I won't be laying 18 with North Carolina. Not sure I'll get there with App State, knowing they got Aguilar, at QB2 in there as the starter. I'm not so sure, but I wouldn't be laying this many with North Carolina, even though they looked good last week. What do you think here, Conor?
Yeah, some question marks. You mentioned Aguilar. What does he do here? One thing, South Carolina, as bad as the line was and the sacks, Rattler was able to throw it. They couldn't run it. Can App State, which is always likes to run the ball, Can Noel and Hayward, these guys run the football on North Carolina. I want to see that. You mentioned they've been competitive. I'd be a little bit leery of just jumping all over North Carolina and laying the points in this game. Yeah, I don't know about how crazy it gets like it did last year. 63-61. We should still see some points. I mean, App State did go up just 24 to Gardner-Webb. Gardner-Webb football, I don't think there's much talk going around about their high-powered offense. Bavano, so I'd lean over.
And keep in mind, App State defensively had their issues at times last year. You're right. Giving up 24 points against Gardner-Webb is not what you want to see when you're about to play this high-powered North Carolina offense led by Drake May. So you're right. It's a lot of points and I don't feel comfortable laying 18 in this series, but I'll make it crystal clear. This is not one of those spots where I'm rushing to bet App State either. Yeah,
on the other side, because North Carolina, this App State team just has a little bit more questions than the last few years where we knew they were a little bit better. Because if they get down early, it could be tough. And I want to see the defense more for North Carolina. I got to see more. I can't just go off that game.